I've always liked Jabra's offerings, notably the Elite 75T and the Elite 85T, but the company has decided to revamp the Elite lineup and now it's just called the Elite 7 Pro. Hey guys, we have the Jabra Elite 7 Pro with us today and it's, well, both a step forward and a step backward. Before we get into the review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. Let's talk design first. I actually think that the design of the charging case is the step backwards. The case is a new shape, slightly stouter and shorter than the other cases before it. Here's my Elite 75T for reference. As you can tell from the scuffed case, I've used this quite a bit. I think the lid on the 75T's case is just easier to open one-handed. And a major design flaw, for me at least, is that Jabra has put the USB-C charging port on the front of the case. It kind of goes against all of my experience with true wireless earbuds. I'm very used to feeling for the charging port with my fingers before using my thumb to kind of flip open the lid on the other side. And, well, I can't do that with the Elite 7 Pro. With these, I have to constantly remind myself that the lid flips open from the same side that the charging port is on. I'm honestly quite unsure about the thought process behind this design choice, but yeah. Anyway, because of the new design, it does sit very securely on surfaces and it'll never topple over, unlike the 75T's case. On the bottom, you'll see the cheese symbol, which means that Jabra has decided to keep wireless charging on the case, which is nice. Moving inside, you get a nice interior where the earbuds sit, with a rubberized coating similar to the 75T's. That being said, the magnets holding the earbuds in place seem to not be as strong on the Elite 7 Pro. Regardless, your earbuds won't drop out if the lid is open, so that's all that matters. As for the earbuds, they still look distinctly Jabra. The company has kept a sort of teardrop-shaped design, and it's still here with the Elite 7 Pro. That being said, the microphone grill is no longer as visible since it's been incorporated into the shell instead of the faceplate area. Jabra is keeping physical buttons on both earbuds, which is very nice. The color of the faceplate area is also pretty consistent, although I'd say the Elite 7 Pro is a shade darker and more textured than the Elite 75T. One of Jabra's biggest selling points for their true wireless lineup is that they are super comfortable, right? After all, Jabra's done like tens of thousands of ear scans to kind of find that optimal shape. And yeah, the Elite 7 Pro is really very comfortable. The company has gone away from the semi-open design that they introduced with the Elite 85T, which I'm actually pretty thankful for, and the earbuds sit super securely in the ear. I think it also looks very elegant in the ear, not at all like some other earbuds that stick out or draw a lot of attention, so that's nice. The passive noise isolation is also pretty good, better than the Elite 75T I would say, and it's also more comfortable. As for setup though, there's actually quite a lot to do when you first get these earbuds. Jabra's Sound Plus app is a must download for these because you get a bunch of personalization features. There's personalized ANC, a fit test, a sound personalization test, as well as a decent amount of customization for controls. I was a bit stumped by the personalized ANC because it's literally just a slider that increases or decreases the strength of the ANC, as well as a left-right balance slider. When it's called personalized ANC, I would expect auto adjustment or some sort of personalization or stuff like that, not just adjustable ANC. I did notice quite a bit of hiss when ANC was turned on, although this will definitely depend on how sensitive your ears are to that sort of frequency. We'll talk about ANC effectiveness later, so let's move on to the other features first. The fit test is pretty standard. Some sounds play and then the app tells you if the fit is good or not. If it's not good, try adjusting the earbuds in your ears or try using different tips. My sound is the sound personalization, and it's basically a series of beeps being played and you're required to tap the screen whenever you hear a beep. I recommend doing this in a really quiet room. I did it twice, once with my fan on and once without, and when my fan was on, some of the softer beeps were kind of drowned out, so yeah, best to get it as accurate as possible. As for controls, you can decide what single, double, and triple taps do. A long press and hold on either side raises or lowers volume, and I'm just really glad that Jabra has continued to include volume control in these. There are also different options for incoming calls and active calls, with the ability to mute yourself or put an active call on hold through button presses, which is definitely handy for people who make a lot of calls regularly. I know a lot of people don't really like physical buttons because they kind of end up with the earbuds getting pushed into the ear when you're pressing the buttons, but these aren't too bad. Software-wise, nothing much to report except that the very first software update that I did took over 35 minutes. So yeah, give it some time, don't freak out just because it's taking longer than the usual 10 minutes or so. Of course, on the main screen, you get battery levels for each individual earbud as well as the case, a quick toggle between A and C, hear true and off, as well as an EQ feature with 6 different presets. Now, it's a 5-bar EQ, which is relatively simple, and I did keep the EQ turned off most of the time when I was testing, but I personally think that the smooth preset was one of the better ones. So now we come to ANC, and it's, well, just passable. It does reduce some car rumble and the likes, but it's not really to the level of like the Sony XM4s or whatever, so don't go expecting really good ANC. These come with Bluetooth 5.2, which is excellent, but codec support is where it starts to get odd again. These have SBC and AAC support, but not aptX. The funny thing is that the budget Elite 3 earbuds, which are less than half the price of the Elite 7 Pro by the way, come with aptX. So I'm honestly not sure why Jabra has decided to omit aptX from these, but yeah, a bit of a disappointment here. Adding to that, you are able to use each earbud individually, but multi-point connectivity is missing. It's supposed to be added in a future software update, but as of right now when I'm filming this video, it's still not available yet. As always, don't buy products because they promise, certain features and software updates. So I would say that if multi-point connectivity is a must-have for you, you might want to look at something else. Moving on, battery life is good. Jabra claims 8 hours in the earbuds, and I got around 7 hours and 25 minutes with ANC supposedly turned up to the max, so yeah. There's supposed to be a total of 30 hours with the charging case, and there's quick charge as well, with 5 minutes of charge giving an hour of playback time, which is nice. There's IP57 dust and water resistance, so yeah, they're actually pretty durable. There's also an in-app registration which gives you a 2-year warranty against dust and water failure, so yeah, that's nice. I would say that these work perfectly fine for exercise and the likes. They do sit relatively securely in the ear, but if you're worried about them falling out, there is the Elite 7 Active, which comes with Jabra's Shake Grip technology, which is essentially just a coating that's supposed to help them stay more securely in your ears than the Elite 7 Pro. As for microphone quality, Jabra's done a pretty good job here. There are 4 microphones and they are paired with voice pickup sensors which use bone conduction and automatically activate when you're in a windy situation. Now, I'm not sure if it will activate in the studio because there's not much wind here, but yeah, you can hear how it sounds. Sound quality is pretty decent. You still get that emphasis and thump with the bass, but I feel that it's ever so slightly toned down from the Elite 75T. And it's not quite as deep and textured as something that you would get out of like the XM4s. Mids are pretty okay and not too overwhelmed by the bass, although on certain tracks you do start to get a sense of mids being a bit recessed. Treble is okay, it's relatively bright, although I think that there could have been a bit more detail here. Soundstage is about as good as you can expect out of a pair of true wireless earbuds, but I will say that separation and imaging is actually pretty good, especially if you listen to songs with a lot of vocal layering. At 318 Singapore dollars or around 200 US dollars, these are actually ever so slightly cheaper than the Elite 85T when those came out. They're still not very affordable, but for the feature set that you're getting, I would say that these are a great option if you do a lot of voice calls and if you listen to bassy music. But if you're planning on using these for traveling on airplanes and the likes, you might be a bit disappointed at the strength of the ANC. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Jabra Elite 7 Pro. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like this video. See you next one. See you guys!